Welcome, travelers, to Adventures in Security. In this video, we dig into Content Disarm and Reconstruction, or CDR, another tool for preventing the downloading and use of malicious files that standard AV solutions might miss, especially zero-day attacks. The study guide and the bibliography for this video are available in the video description. If you like this video, if you learned something, please remember to like it and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss future content. Content Disarm and Reconstruction, CDR, represents a paradigm shift from traditional detection-based security to proactive content sanitization, decomposing incoming files into their fundamental components, identifying and eliminating potentially harmful elements, and reconstructing the content to preserve its usability. This approach is particularly effective against zero-day vulnerabilities, polymorphic malware, and other evasive threats that often bypass signature-based solutions. This video delves into the CDR process, its integration into organizational security frameworks, and its ability to enhance anti-malware efforts, email security, and overall user productivity. Additionally, it discusses potential challenges and provides best practices for policy implementation and system tuning. Let's take a look at the process and the file types supported. CDR follows a four-step process: file decomposition, threat removal, content reconstruction, and delivery to recipient. CDR solutions usually support zipped files, documents, archives, email containers, for example, EML, MSG, and PST, images, and password-protected files. Now we step through each of the four CDR steps, starting with file decomposition. When a file enters the network, whether it's an email attachment, a download from the web, or a file shared via a cloud service, CDR disassembles it down to its most basic components, like taking apart a complex Lego structure, brick by brick. The system examines each element individually, ensuring no hidden threats are overlooked. It also enables identifying and isolating any potentially harmful code embedded within innocuous-looking content. In the threat removal step, CDR meticulously scans for and eliminates elements that could harbor malicious intent during the decomposition process, including macros and scripts. Active content, embedded links, and metadata. Macros and scripts are powerful tools within documents that automate repetitive tasks. However, they can be exploited to execute harmful actions without the user's knowledge. CDR identifies these automated instructions and strips them out of the file. By removing macros and scripts, CDR prevents malicious code from triggering ransomware attacks, unauthorized data extraction, or other unwanted activities. CDR neutralizes or removes active content, shutting down potential entry points for malware execution. Active content includes embedded objects like Flash components, ActiveX controls, or Java applets that can run code automatically, often serving as backdoors for attackers to infiltrate systems, ensuring that only static, non-executable content remains, consequently eliminating risks associated with dynamic code execution. CDR scrutinizes embedded links, removing or rewriting them to point to safe destinations. Hyperlinks in documents can be deceptive. While they may appear legitimate, they could redirect users to phishing sites or trigger downloads of malicious files. CDR prevents users from inadvertently navigating to compromised websites or initiating harmful downloads. Files often carry hidden metadata containing sensitive information like authorship details, revision history, or even system-specific data. Attackers can exploit this metadata to gain insights into an organization's infrastructure or embed exploit code. CDR cleanses metadata, stripping away unnecessary or potentially harmful information and protecting both the organization and its users from unintended data leakage and targeted attacks. After the threat removal phase, CDR reconstructs the file using the sanitized components. This process is akin to rebuilding a house, using only the safe, intact materials after removing any mold or structural damage. The goal is to deliver a file that retains the original's functionality and appearance, but is guaranteed free from threats. Users receive a seamless experience, often unaware that the file has been processed, ensuring productivity is not hampered while security is upheld. The sanitized file is promptly delivered to the intended recipient, whether they are accessing it via email, downloading it from a web portal, or retrieving it from a shared drive. This swift turnaround ensures minimal to no delay in accessing essential documents. By integrating seamlessly into existing workflows, CDR ensures that users maintain their usual productivity levels without compromising security. CDR is not a silver bullet. Instead, it is one more tool to enforce a strong defense in depth against the movement of malicious files through our email systems or via user file downloads, including supporting anti-malware efforts, reducing dependence on detection, enhancing email security, and maintaining user productivity. In supporting zero-day attacks, CDR can be a better defense. Zero-day threats represent vulnerabilities or malware unknown to security vendors and have no existing signatures. Traditional antivirus solutions are often blind to these threats until updates are released, sometimes after significant damage. CDR's non-reliant approach on signatures means it does not need prior knowledge of a threat to neutralize it. Sanitizing all incoming content, CDR effectively shields the organization from known and unknown threats, significantly reducing the attack surface. CDR also reduces dependence on detection. Cybercriminals frequently employ obfuscation techniques, such as code morphing and encryption, to evade detection by traditional security tools. Since CDR does not seek to detect but disarm, these evasion tactics are ineffective. The technology focuses on delivering clean, safe content regardless of the underlying threat, ensuring consistent protection without constant updates or threat intelligence feeds. Email security is enhanced by CDR. Email remains one of the most exploited vectors for cyber attacks due to its widespread use and the inherent trust users place in received messages. CDR enhances email security by processing attachments in real time by neutralizing weaponized documents that might contain embedded malware or phishing exploits, protecting against ransomware delivered through seemingly benign files, and ensuring that employees can safely open attachments without fear of initiating a cyber attack. By incorporating CDR into email security protocols, organizations can significantly reduce the risk of successful phishing campaigns and malware infiltration. Because CDR does not quarantine most suspicious files and messages, it helps maintain productivity. Security measures are often criticized for hindering user experience, leading to frustration or attempts to bypass protocols. CDR addresses this by delivering sanitized files that look and function like the originals, instead of simply blocking suspicious email or files. Users can continue their tasks without interruption with. No need for additional training or changes in workflow. Immediate access to necessary documents without waiting for lengthy scans, and assurance that files are safe, enhancing user confidence in organizational security measures. CDRs can be integrated into the existing safeguard and operational technologies, including email gateways. Implementing CDR at the email gateway level ensures all incoming and outgoing attachments are sanitized. This is crucial for preventing spear phishing attacks that target specific employees with tailored malicious content. Web traffic monitoring. For organizations where employees frequently download files from the internet, CDR can be integrated with web proxies or secure web gateways. Securing file sharing platforms. Cloud storage services often lack robust security measures for file uploads. CDR ensures that files uploaded to platforms like SharePoint, OneDrive, or Google Drive are sanitized, preventing the spread of malware within collaborative environments. API-level integration. CDR solutions can integrate directly with cloud and other applications via APIs, providing seamless security without additional infrastructure. Protection across devices. With employees accessing cloud services from various devices and locations, CDR maintains uniform security standards, regardless of endpoint security measures. The threat removal process in CDR is a meticulous, multi-stage operation designed to sanitize files while preserving their usability. Here's a comprehensive breakdown, starting with comprehensive file decomposition. The file is dissected into its fundamental components. This includes text content, images, macros, embedded objects, metadata, and more for complex files like documents. CDR parses the file according to its specific format standards, for example, PDF, DOCX, XLSX, ensuring that every element is understood in the context of how it should function. Each component is isolated for individual analysis. This isolation prevents any hidden malicious code from interacting with other parts of the file during the sanitization process. Next is the identification and removal of malicious elements. Macros and scripts are scanned for any automation or executable code. Since macros can perform actions like modifying files or accessing system resources, they pose significant risks. All executable code is removed from the file. This includes deleting macros, scripts, and embedded executables. Objects like ActiveX controls or Flash components are identified. These can execute code or perform actions without user consent. If certain active elements are essential for the file's functionality but pose a security risk, they are neutralized, disabled, rather than removed. AI can determine the best sanitization approach based on file type and usage patterns. Sometimes malicious code is hidden in unexpected places, like image files with steganography or in obfuscated scripts, code that CDR can detect. Once the file elements are deemed safe, CDR reconstructs the file. The decomposed file is rebuilt using the sanitized components, ensuring the content remains as close to the original as possible. Safe, essential features are retained to ensure usability. The reconstructed file adheres strictly to official file format specifications to prevent exploits that rely on format deviations. The file is normalized to eliminate any unusual structures or elements that could be exploited. Additional checks confirm that no malicious content remains. Finally, the reconstructed file is delivered. The user usually receives the file without noticeable changes in layout or content, minimizing any impact on productivity. In some systems, users may be notified if significant elements have been removed, especially if it affects functionality. Detailed logs of what was removed or altered are kept, aiding in security monitoring and compliance reporting. Security teams can be alerted for further investigation if malicious content is detected and removed. Despite its effectiveness in mitigating threats like malware, ransomware, and zero-day attacks, its implementation has several pitfalls and potential operational disadvantages. One key challenge is the risk of degrading file integrity and functionality. CDR operates by stripping out or reconstructing potentially harmful components, which can sometimes alter critical formatting, metadata, or embedded macros, causing compatibility issues with certain file types, leading to workflow disruptions, especially in industries that rely on complex documents, such as legal, finance, and healthcare. Another significant issue is performance and processing delays. Depending on the sophistication of the CDR solution, analyzing, sanitizing, and reconstructing files can introduce latency. High volumes of document exchanges can strain system resources, leading to slower processing times, particularly in real-time environments where immediate access to files is crucial. There is also the challenge of implementation complexity. Deploying CDR requires careful integration with existing security infrastructure, email gateways, web proxies, and endpoint security solutions. Organizations must tailor CDR policies to balance security and usability, which demands extensive testing and fine-tuning. Misconfigurations can lead to false positives, where legitimate files are unnecessarily stripped of essential content, or false negatives, where threats slip through due to overly lenient rules. Operationally, user resistance and adoption barriers can arise when employees encounter modified or incomplete files. If a sanitized file lacks necessary functionality, users may bypass security controls by using alternative methods to access original files, such as downloading them from unmonitored personal devices. This creates potential security gaps and undermines the effectiveness of CDR. Scalability concerns also present a disadvantage, as organizations handling large volumes of diverse file formats may struggle to ensure that all files remain fully functional post-sanitization. Some CDR solutions may not support niche or proprietary formats, limiting their effectiveness in specialized industries. Cost is another significant factor, as implementing a robust CDR solution involves investments in advanced cybersecurity tools, infrastructure, and ongoing maintenance. Organizations must allocate resources for continuous updates to ensure the system can handle emerging threats and new file formats. Support and training for IT teams and end users also add to operational expenses. These pitfalls emphasize the need for a well-planned deployment strategy, user education, and continuous monitoring to balance security and functionality while minimizing disruptions. Tuning and implementing policies in CDR solutions requires a careful balance between security, usability, and operational efficiency, requiring a set of steps that are iterative, not one and done. We now go through 10 ways to ensure effectiveness with low user and management frustration. 1. Define security and business requirements. Before implementing CDR policies, it's essential to identify organizational needs and risk tolerance. Security teams should work closely with business units to determine which file types must be sanitized, which elements within files need preservation, and which trade-offs between security and usability are acceptable. Second, establish file type policies. CDR solutions must handle different file formats differently based on risk levels and business needs. Commonly used formats like PDFs, Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, and images may require different levels of disarming. Some file types, such as executable files and macros, may be restricted entirely. Policies should be defined to allow safe document exchange while preventing potentially harmful content. Third, configure threat removal rules. CDR works by stripping out or reconstructing potentially malicious content such as macros, embedded scripts, active content, and metadata. Policies must be tuned based on risk assessments. 3 policy approaches include: strict policies remove all active content, including macros and JavaScript, which ensures high security but may impact usability. Moderate policies preserve some interactive elements while sanitizing high-risk components. Custom policies allow certain trusted documents or domains to retain specific functionalities. Fourth, set up exception handling. Some business processes may require specific file components that CDR solutions typically remove. Organizations should define exception handling mechanisms for trusted sources, such as internally generated files, signed documents, or authorized vendors. Exceptions should be logged and reviewed periodically to prevent security gaps. Fifth, implement adaptive policies. CDR solutions should be able to differentiate between various user roles and file sources. For instance, policies can be stricter for files downloaded from external emails or the internet, while allowing more lenient processing for internal documents. Implementing risk-based policies ensures that the security posture remains strong without unnecessary disruptions. Sixth, optimize performance and scalability. To mitigate performance issues, organizations should prioritize real-time disarming for high-risk channels like email and web downloads, use batch processing for large document repositories, and implement caching for frequently sanitized files to reduce redundant processing. 7. Monitor and analyze logs. Continuous monitoring of CDR logs helps in fine-tuning policies. Security teams should analyze sanitized file reports, identify false positives where legitimate content is removed, and adjust rules accordingly. Logging should also capture attempted policy bypasses to detect potential insider threats or attack attempts. 8th, the organization should conduct user training and ensure continuous awareness. Users should know how CDR works and what to expect when handling sanitized files. Training helps reduce frustration when interactive content is removed and encourages employees to follow secure practices instead of finding workarounds. 9th, regularly update policies and test effectiveness. Cyber threats evolve continuously, so CDR policies should be updated regularly to address new attack vectors. Organizations should conduct periodic testing, including penetration tests and red team exercises, to evaluate how well the CDR solution protects against emerging threats. And 10th, integrate with existing security infrastructure. CDR solutions should integrate email security gateways, endpoint protection, web filtering solutions, and SIEM, security information and event management systems. This ensures that sanitized files are continuously monitored and that suspicious activities are correlated with broader security events. CDR is a vital component of modern cybersecurity strategies, addressing limitations in traditional detection-based methods. CDR mitigates risks from known and unknown threats by proactively sanitizing files and reconstructing them to a safe state. Its integration into email gateways, application and system interfaces, web traffic monitoring, and cloud environments ensures comprehensive protection across various organizational workflows. CDR implementation requires careful planning, regular updates, and user training to balance security with functionality and minimize operational disruptions. As cyber threats evolve, CDR is a robust and scalable solution, enabling organizations to safeguard their networks while maintaining productivity and trust in their digital ecosystems. That's it for this video. If you have questions, always ask in the video discussion. And until next time, be careful what you click.